What's going on, veterans? How you doing today? My name is Junius Bennett. I am 100% permanent and total Navy Desert Storm veteran. And I hope you came to this channel to learn something, because I want you to strap in your seat belts if you're in your car. I want you to grab your popcorn if you sit in your man cave, because it's about to go down. This video right now is going to explain to you how secondary service connections can warrant you a high value claim that can beat all of the numbers that you're seeing at the annual benefits report. I got one question to ask you right now. Are you an average veteran or are you extraordinary? Okay, and I hope you answer that question so you're extraordinary. So if you're an extraordinary person, would you accept average results? I'm gonna ask you that question again. If you are an extraordinary person, why do we accept average results? Because right now, I'm going to give you some extraordinary training that you can walk away with that you can use in filing your next claim, okay? And I hope you choose our company, New Life and Veterans, to go ahead and do that. Now, if you've been watching us over time, we've been talking about the numbers. We've been talking about the results that we've been getting for the New Life veterans. If you know that the current system is broken, the VFWs, DAVs, all of the veteran service organizations and the accredited claims agents and the attorneys that get you once you get denied, they're the end-all, say-all for the catcher's rule, the catcher's mitten, if you will. If that system is already in place and we're producing less than 70% on average with 6 or more disabilities on every application, then there's a problem, because there was over 390,000 veterans in 2023 that filed a claim that got awarded a less than 70% service connection code. And one of the reasons why is that you don't understand the law, and I'm here to teach you the law to make it plain and simple for you, okay? So without further ado, get your pen and paper out, and let's talk about service connections under secondary, okay? We talked about direct service connection yesterday, right? So let's move right along. Establishing causation for a secondary service connection. And I'm giving you nothing but Title 38, Part 4, by the way. If anybody start telling you, hey man, I heard this and I heard that, you say, look, I appreciate the knowledge, but if it's not Title 38, Part 4, I can't afford for me and my family to miss this filing, because they're going to make some changes in the near future that's going to affect my money. Not yours, but mine. So with all due respect, let me pay attention to this law. All right, so secondary connection on a secondary basis requires a showing of causation. A showing of causation requires that the secondary disability be shown to be proximately due to or the result of a service connection condition. I will give you an example right up front. I have a broken nose. That is a direct service connection, because I got hit in the nose, sucker punched, head hit against the wall. I got a traumatic brain injury from it because I was knocked unconscious. But as I woke up in the emergency room, that broken nose gave me something else. It's proximately due to or the result of a service connection. So, to establish causation, the primary disability need not be service connected. Whoa! Have you ever heard of a VSO tell you, oh, Mr. Bennett, you can't file a secondary without having your direct already service connected? I just gave you the adjudication manual, what they have to use as the VA rater, and you got a VSO that's a state employee telling me I can't file a secondary without a direct. And here's the law. To establish causation, my direct service connection, my primary disability, my deviated septum, need not be service connected. Hold on. Y'all are taking everybody's advice, even the VSO's advice. And guess what? That's why you're getting these subpar numbers, because you're not educating yourself, all right? Or even diagnosed. So my deviated septum didn't even have to be diagnosed at the time the secondary condition is incurred. Wow. Think about this. Example. Let's give an example. I gave you my example. Let's see what the adjudication manual example says. Service connection was granted for a back disability. Oh, he got radiculopathy. Effective in 2015. Credible evidence showed that the veteran had a 20-year history of back pain and progressively worsened radiculopathy dated back to 2001. The formal diagnosis of radiculopathy was not made until 2010. The veteran claimed for a shoulder disability in 2016. He went from his back radiculopathy to now he's talking about his shoulder. All right? Stating that his early symptoms of radiculopathy caused him to lose his balance, fall, and tear his rotator cuff in 2008. He provided a medical opinion. I'm going to talk about that in the upcoming videos. That big joker, baby. We playing a game of spades. Don't no book get won automatically unless you have the big joker. All right, so caused him to lose his balance, fall, and tear his rotator cuff in 2008. He provided a medical opinion linking his rotator cuff tear to a fall and the fall to sensory impairment and difficulty with I can't even say that word, proprioception due to early symptoms of radiculopathy. The result. Let's talk about the result. The result. Let's move it up. As a medical opinion establishes causation for the rotator cuff tear in the shoulder due to the radiculopathy of his back required for on a secondary basis are satisfied. Although the radiculopathy was not formally diagnosed until after the fall, the credible evidence adequately established a history of back problems and gradual onset of radiculopathy dating back to 2001. What is radiculopathy? It's a nerve issue in his back. A finding of causation does not require that the primary disability be formally diagnosed at the time the secondary condition is incurred. So, even though my diagnosis of deviated septum didn't come to after the fact, I got out the military, and my sleep apnea, which is secondary to my broken nose, wasn't really service connected either or diagnosed until after the service. Here we go. Additionally, although service connected had not been established for the back condition and radiculopathy at the time at the time of the fall. So at the time of the fall, he didn't even have service connection. And subsequent rotator cuff tear, a finding of cause does not require that the primary disability be service connected at the time the secondary condition was conducted. So what it's saying, let me break this down. Your secondary don't have to be service connected without your direct being service connected. They can be both sent in on the application at the same time. In my case, I filed 11 disabilities, not 6 like most people. I filed 11, and 2 of the 11 was a deviated septum secondary to sleep apnea. The deviated septum was not service connected. The sleep apnea was not service connected. It went on the same 21-526EZ, the application for disability. Okay, so let's go a little further, because y'all just take everybody's word for it. Now, what I want to bring your attention to now is a court case. Establishment of causation prior to finding of a service connection or formal diagnosis for the primary disability. See Frost versus Shulkin. Vet application in 2017. That was a court case. You guys can Google Frost versus Shulkin in 2017. Effective date assigned when a claim for service connection for a secondary disability proceeds a claim for service connection for the primary disability. They have the law under the part of the adjudication manual. So let's do a recap. If anybody tell you that you cannot file a secondary at the same time as your direct, they're lying. Tell them JB from Atlanta, Georgia, New Life Veterans, said it because the law said it. Not coming out of my mouth, but because the adjudication manual that the VA rater has to abide by said it. All right. Woo, let's see here, right here. Medical evidence required to show a non-service connected disability was aggravated by a service-connected disability. Medical evidence created before the onset of aggravation or the earliest medical evidence created between the onset, the beginning of aggravation, and the receipt of medical evidence establishing the current level severity of the non-service connected disabilities. It says the medical evidence required to show. It's all about the medical evidence the beginning of my aggravation of a sleep apnea starts with a sleep study test. The receipt of the medical evidence establishing the current level of severity. I have to have a CPAP machine. That is the medical evidence required to show a non-service connected sleep apnea to the deviated septum. Okay? All right, let's go a step further. This video is going to be very informative. Okay, the responsibility for submitting evidence to establish a baseline of disability for a claim for secondary based on aggravation of a non-service disability by a service-connected disability rests with the claimant. It rests with who? It rests with you, ladies and gentlemen. It rests with you as a claimant to prove medical evidence adequate to establish the baseline level of disability must show its level of severity. If you like big checks, your severity better be big. I'm going to say it one more time. How bad it is, how bad your disability is, how severe it is will determine the higher rating. That's why you would need to have your statement support a claim on 21-4138. You should have a DBQ if it's available, can be given to you. A disability benefits questionnaire can articulate and demonstrate the severity before you go to a CMP exam, okay? All right. Before aggravation by the service-connected disability or as soon as possible after aggravation. It's saying that you need to establish this as soon as possible after the aggravation, but before the date of the receipt of evidence. So before you file a claim, it's telling you that you need to tell us, hey, you can send a secure message to the electronic health record. Hey, I need a sleep study test, or I need an exam for x-ray, an MRI, because my plantar fasciitis is now aggravating my lumbar sacral strain, my back, or my sciatic nerve, or my radiculopathy, okay? All right, so I want you guys to understand that you can file a secondary with the direct, and it must be proximity and due, okay? So let's go back up, and I'm gonna round this video up, all right? So, establishing causation for secondary. Secondary on service connection, on a secondary basis requires a showing of causation. A showing of causation requires that the secondary disability be shown to be proximately due to or the result of a service-connected condition. And I gave an example. So let's talk about most common secondary claims that we do as a company. Because we have psychologists, we have audiologists, we have ear, nose, and throat doctors, we have orthopedic surgeons. These cover the most prevalent service-connected claims that are sent in. We don't do a whole lot of eye stuff because that's not common. We don't do a lot of sexual reproduction type things. We don't do a lot of cancers. So if you got those things, I wish I could help you, but we can't. All right, so if you got sleep apnea secondary to a PTSD claim denied, and you are fat, let me be medically correct. You are obese. Your BMI is a 30. You can do sleep apnea secondary to obesity caused by PTSD, and that's going to be in the next video of showing an intermediate step of obesity and how it can be secondarily bringing on diabetes, secondary for sleep apnea, secondary for hypertension. It's a lot of different things. I want you guys to understand that secondary claims can take you from a 10% tinnitus to a migraines at 50% secondary tinnitus. It also can take you from tinnitus to a 70 or 100% on anxiety and depression. I've seen it. So you guys are walking around with $170 for 10%. You probably leaving on the table $2,000 plus a month because you don't know the law and you've been listening to your veteran friends and you've been listening to veteran service organizations that really also don't know the law. They're not reading the adjudication manual as their food. See, at New Life Veterans, we eat, sleep, and drink this, okay? So rest assured, thank you so much for watching. I'm excited. I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm in your face. I want you guys to win in 2024. And if you hit a win in 2024, put a like, put the comments below. I want you to stop watching, start clicking newlifeinsider.com and get your free 30-minute consultation. I'll talk to you soon. God bless.